Greetings and welcome to Transform Today, a place that we can have an open and honest conversation. Why? Because it's the right thing to do. Well, here we are on location today again with the back 40 in the backdrop. Kind of a windy day here in central Alberta, but that's just the way it is around these parts these days. Fortunately, we still have some decent weather, so today I wanted to talk about a couple of things, but number one, I just wanted to remind you, if I haven't told you already in the past videos on this series, Transform Today, one of the things that I do, and privilege I get to do, is to be the regimental chaplain for the Loyal Edmonton Regiment. That's a reserve regiment, infantry regiment. I've been serving that regiment part-time as a reservist for 5 years. These last 6 months have been rather interesting in the sense of, well, not many face-to-face meetings. We are not actually yet meeting at the armories, but that plan is being put into place as I speak. And that brings me to the topic I want to talk about, and that is post-traumatic stress disorder. Something that's been on my mind for the last week and a half or so. And I just wanted to share some things about post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Typically, maybe in the news you might see that it involves usually a person, first responder, military person, but PTSD can affect anyone in any stage of their life, in any age. Trauma has a way of doing that to the mind and to the body. And we just want to recognize that this is not just it's not just associated with combat or first responders. Anyone can be struggling with PTSD resulting from trauma. Now, I'm not speaking to you as a doctor. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist. I do have a background in pastoral counseling, and also my experience and training as a military chaplain. As part of our role is to understand some things about PTSD and to support our troops and our sailors and our air personnel who are struggling with PTSD. I just wanted to share 3 tips on how you can be a help to someone that you might know, or if you ever encounter someone with PTSD. 3 tips. There's many things that you can do. I just want to share 3 quick tips if you are going to be involved with supporting someone struggling with PTSD. And I've got them down here on my cheat notes, so if I look down on my page there, please forgive me because I don't want to miss anything here. So tip 1, if you're going to be helping someone, provide them with social support. Characteristically, PTSD, those that struggle with that disorder can be withdrawn, and for good reasons, because they're struggling with fear and other anxiety issues, and they're withdrawn from their friends and they're withdrawn from their families. But if you're going to help someone with recovery or in their coping skills, providing them with social support would be a tip that I would advise you or lead you to go to. Be available, be willing and available, really simple stuff like that. Do normal things. It doesn't have to be all about PTSD. Do normal things, whatever is normal, or whatever you can bring some normalcy into their lives. That would be very helpful. Let the person that's struggling with the trauma take the lead. They might have their own interests. It might not be what you're interested in, but you can support them in that way too. Be patient, of course, and accept the feelings that you're going to have. One of the things I found in my counseling experience, whatever it is, whether it's emotional or financial or anything, relational is typically what I'm dealing with, and I find that you can have all sorts of feelings rumbling around in your own self, whether it's anger, whether it's sadness, whatever feeling you are, you need to be able to accept them. That's just part of who you are. You're a human being and you feel, and when you're helping someone or being a friend to someone with trauma, you're going to feel things. Just accept those feelings, deal with them. Don't let them be the controlling motivation for your support. This will teach you a lot about yourself for sure. And really importantly, if you're going to be providing social support, get educated. Get educated about PTSD as much as you can. There's all sorts of places. I'll provide in the description section of the video, you'll find some resources, some links, and this is particularly to Alberta. So if wherever you are, I'm sure wherever you are, there are places that you can get educated, whether it be a website or whether it be some other format. Tip number 2, this is, I think, is one of the most important ones in life, actually, let alone helping someone with PTSD, is to be a good listener. I don't know if your mother ever told you, but my mother told me, you know why God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth? Well, to be a good listener. If the person that you're helping with wants to talk about their trauma, you would encourage you can listen to them, and one of the things that's probably going to happen is they're going to talk about their trauma over and over and over again, and that's normal. It's part of the healing process, and sometimes the person wants to talk about it, and that's the main thing they want to talk about, and then that's something that you're going to have to understand, I guess, and accept, and sort of be, walking that line with them. Try to listen without judgment. That's very hard to do, and we're always listening with judgment. It's just the way we are, and try to listen without any judgment. Don't have any expectations. Don't try to give any advice. You're their friend. You're journeying with them in their life, and you'll take your cues from the situation that they're talking about. Remember, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so do more listening and less talking. Respect their feelings. Respect their feelings. When you're listening, respect their feelings and their reactions. And not quite sure what you're going to encounter, but you can encounter the whole gamut of human emotion and feelings. Tip number 3, and the last one I'll share with this video, is you want to help them rebuild trust and safety. And that's one of the 2 kind of areas that the people that have suffered severe trauma struggle with. Everything is frightening, or things are frightening in their lives. They don't feel safe. Things are dangerous, especially when I think of combat. Those that are struggling from PTSD because of combat, certainly was a dangerous place. But the trauma was dangerous, irrespectful of what kind of trauma it was. And you want to help them build trust and safety again. And how do you do that? Well, there's a number of ways you can do that. You can, first of all, express your commitment to the relationship. You're there for the long haul. You're not a first responder here. I'm not talking about being a first responder where you see someone needs help, you go in and you help them, you do what you can, and you pass them on to other resources. No, that's not what I'm talking about here. You want to express your commitment to the relationship. You're their friend, and you want to walk with them in this journey that they're in right now with PTSD. When you make a promise, keep your promises. You do what you say. And that helps rebuild trust. That'll help rebuild trust in them also. Be consistent and follow through with everything that you say you're going to do. You can emphasize their strengths and share and celebrate their successes, because there will be successes and there will be strengths that the person that you're sharing this experience with will have. And encourage them to join a support group. It's not maybe for everyone, but for certainly that would be something that would probably be beneficial, as they would be able to share with like-minded people their experience with PTSD. So there they are, 3 tips. Provide social support, be a good listener, and help rebuild trust and safety. Those are the 3 things that you can do. About 10 days ago, maybe 11 days ago, I was challenged by my daughter to a PTSD awareness challenge, and that was to do 25 push-ups a day for 25 days. Well, I've been doing those because I committed to that. I accepted the challenge, and this has also led me to do this video. to help other people understand a little bit about PTSD. And so I have a challenge today, and I have a nomination today to a particular person who's serving in the Royal Canadian Navy, the senior service of the Canadian Armed Forces. So I challenge today Petty Officer Second Class Kevin Kelly of the West Coast Fleet to 25 push-ups a day for 25 days for PTSD awareness. And guess what, Kevin? You can challenge somebody else. So I hope you take up this challenge and be part of the group of people in the world today that are helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder. So thank you, folks. Thank you for listening to me. I really appreciate your comments. Again, check out those resources for post-traumatic stress disorder support that I'll have in the description box. And you have yourself a great day, and saying bye on location. Shalom.